All right, let's hit the skins right now. Hit the skins brought to you by Don't Sleep Energy Drink. Need to power up before you hit the skins? Don't Sleep has you covered. Head over to don'tsleepenergy.com. Use the promo code Junkies and get ready to be great. Don't sleep. It's really good.
All right, there's a lot. This is a big weekend. This is a big friggin' game.
It's massive.
Right. Just massive. By the way, I don't have the information in front of me. There's definitely going to be a Junkies FanDuel
Boost.
Odds boost.
Yeah,
we need to get that out.
Yeah, I meant to say that yesterday.
You have the read.
I don't.
CK sent it to me.
Drabby's got to send that to me.
I think I have it. FanDuel's got something special for our listeners. Look out for the Junkies odds boost this weekend.
For this game.
It'll be live on the app before the Commanders-Giants game kicks off on Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay? So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you use our promo codes if you don't have an account. What is it, Lurch? I don't even know what it is. Bish, EB, whatever.
Definitely
Pick
not
one.
Lurch.
Doesn't matter. Sign up. We'll give you a good odds boost. All right, there's a lot of implications on this game. A lot of history, obviously, in this game. Last year, right, the Commanders barely missed out on the playoffs. They went 0-1-1 against the Giants. When you look at, it's funny, when you look at it historically, and it kind of feels this way. I mean, I would have you guess, but we'll just waste time doing it. The Giants lead all time 106-71 with 5 ties. 106, 71, and 5 lifetime against the Skins/Commanders.
Okay.
Of course, they beat us twice, beat us once and then tied last year. Massive game, 1 o'clock, CBS. We already went through the announcers, right?
Yeah, that's the guys who've been doing it lately.
Ryan and Tiki.
Right.
So since 2010, the Giants have looks like a 16-7 or 16-9 against the Skins / Commanders.
It sounds.
Now they did sweep the Giants 2 years ago.
A couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, look, the Giants are down. Their offense is struggling. Daniel Jones was at practice, but he still hasn't been cleared for contact.
Mm-hmm.
I find it hard to believe he's going to play on Sunday. In fact, the rumors in New York have been, and Dable had to squash them, but there have even been rumors that his season might be over. But Dable said no, he's still got time. But I really get the sense he's not going to play this.
I don't think he will. I think you're going to see Tyrod.
Right.
If you look at their statistics defensively, EB, they are 28th in points per game, giving up almost 28 points per game. Now, Commanders are worse. They give up 29.3 and are 30th. But what you really look at is their rush defense. They're 31st in the league. They give up 147.5 yards per game on the ground.
Right.
So
there's a lot.
We'll see what Bieniemy does. Right now, they're second to last, I believe, in rush attempts in the NFL. But you should be able to run the football very effectively against that Giants defense.
Now, that number is that low because Barkley was out.
No, it has nothing to do with Barkley. I'm talking about their rush defense.
Rush defense.
Oh, I thought you were talking about their rushing attempts as an offense. Okay.
What I'm saying is the Commanders are low in rushing attempts. They like to pass.
Yeah, you're right.
But this should be a game where you run the football if you're going against the weakness of your opponent, and the weakness of the Giants is their rush defense. They also don't get to the quarterback.
Well, the other thing they don't do, and they haven't done
they don't
so
score.
far, they don't score.
Right.
If you look at the Giants' offense, overall they're 31st. In scoring, they're 32nd. They have the 31st ranked passing attack in terms of yardage. They run a little better, probably because of Barkley, 21st overall, and also probably Daniel Jones contributing to that. So, honestly, and I said this in the middle of the week, and I stand by it, I think we're a better football team than this Giants team this year. It's one of those games you got to win, but it could go either way for sure. No doubt about it. And
And they played the Bills tough last week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 14-9 game. It comes down to the last play. The Giants thought that they should have been a flag on the play where Tyrod Taylor throws to Darren Waller in the end zone with no time left. There was no flag. Game over. It goes to the Bills. But we saw how explosive the Bills' offense was against the Commanders. The Giants' defense, for all of its warts, and they did give up 128 yards rushing in that game. I mean, if you play the Bills and you hold them to 14, you're doing a damn good job.
Done something well, yeah.
Would this be a worse loss than the Bears?
No,
just considering,
I don't think so.
Just considering how bad they've been offensively. Because at least, Fields can explode on you. He did the week before they played. But I don't know.
I don't know. It's pretty close.
I would think it'd be pretty bad.
I think it's pretty close. Dude, they lost to a team that hadn't won in a year.
I know.
I think that's always worse.
Okay.
But, you mentioned the game against the Bills. One guy there for the Giants that didn't have a big game but has been good this year and killed us in 2022 is Kayvon Thibodeau. Okay, so he only had one tackle against the Bills, but he leads the team with 4 sacks. We struggle with that.
They only have 5 as a team.
Still, just watch out for Thibodeau.
Yep.
He's got 4, and then in 2022, he had 12 tackles, 3 for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, and a recovery for a touchdown against us last year. He absolutely single-handedly murdered us. Okay?
Are they dead last in sacks in the NFL? They have to be.
I thought
you have 5 sacks?
Well, didn't we play a team a couple weeks ago that only had like 2? Now, that was earlier in the year.
I'd have to go look.
But anyway, going to be a big challenge. Obviously, the Sam Howell factor in the sack deal is going to be big. How does he?
Yes, Giants dead last.
He's being asked about it all the time, so he's clearly aware of it. What is a little bit troubling, and we talked about this, is Bieniemy a few weeks ago didn't even realize that he had been sacked that many times. Like it didn't seem like it was that big of a conversation in the building a few weeks ago.
My sense is he's just not necessarily great at PR. I'm sure he knew that there's a sack issue.
Maybe.
But what's the difference at that point? I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks in. What's the difference between 24 and 22 to him?
So Washington has played, if you include the Giants, would have played 3 teams in the bottom 5 in team sacks: Falcons, Bears, and now the Giants. Now the Giants are averaging less than a sack per game. They're going to get more than a sack against Sam Howell.
Yeah, I mean, in all likelihood.
Yeah.
Unless there's a master game plan and they pound the football with Brian Robinson and Gibson and Rodriguez.
Maybe this is a big Brian Robinson game.
I hope so.
Should be.
We'll play him in fantasy.
It should be. Now, it's interesting. I'll bring this up because I don't think we have time to do it at another time. But there's a guy for CBS Sports who wrote an article about 10 guys that should be traded, as the deadline approaches. This is Garrett Podell, if you follow him on CBSSports.com. And so Devontae Adams is on that list. Brian Burns, a linebacker from Carolina, is on that list. Hunter Renfrow from Vegas. Hunter Renfrow only has 6 catches. Has he been hurt? What's going on with him?
I think he started the year hurt, but maybe he's played the last few weeks.
But there are 2 Commanders that are on this list. He has 10 NFL players that should be traded at the deadline.
Can I guess?
Yes.
I mean, I think it's going to be Chase Young, and the second one's going to be Montez Sweat.
Chase Young is one of them. We all know for a variety of different reasons, all the money they have invested on the D-line.
Is the other guy a defensive player or offensive player?
I don't want to say.
Oh.
Well, my guess is Montez.
It's not Montez.
It's not Montez.
It's not Montez.
Hold on. Oh, is it Samuel?
No.
It's not Samuel.
No.
Is it Gibson?
It's Antonio Gibson.
Because you know why? He's in the last year of his deal, isn't he? I think he's in the final year of his deal.
He might be. He's only 25 years old. Is that right?
That sounds right.
He totaled, of course, we all know what he did in his first couple years, but so far this year, he had a fumbling issue again a little bit. He's only had 16 carries so far. He's been a big-time pass catcher in his career, obviously with his history as a wide receiver in college. He's a dual-threat guy. But with Brian Robinson and his increased role, he's clearly the number one guy. They think that he is somebody that could be a valuable contributor to a team whose backfield, needs somebody like him with his skill set.
And Jason's right. It is the final year. He signed a 4-year deal.
All right, so that's why they're
making about $2.7 million.
Yeah.
And obviously his role has kind of come down this year, so it makes sense if a team needs running back depth. And a lot of teams have injuries.
I know that the media has to throw out these lists, but if you're Ron Rivera, why are you going to trade guys if you think you can still make the playoffs?
You're not.
You're not going to trade these guys yet. I mean, Gibson could help you possibly
I
in
agree.
the run game, get to a playoff.
I don't think either one will be traded.
Right. I agree.
But it is what it is. I'll give you a quick Howell nugget. I know we're going to come back and we're going to do our parlay. Sam Howell's the third quarterback in NFL history to throw for 1,600 yards, rush for 135, and complete 67% of his passes in his first 7 starts.
Somebody finding the stat.
Also, do you know he's 5th in completions in the NFL this season? Only
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Burrow have more completions than Sam Howell.
But where is he in
has
attempts?
a sack issue, but he's also done a lot of good things too.
Didn't we look this up yesterday? He's very high in attempts, too. So he should have more completions.
Probably.
Yeah, he's got a lot of attempts.
Probably.
I think didn't I throw that stat out?
I think so.
A couple days ago?
Yeah, you were looking at the attempts.